Simon, will you just share what your symptoms were that brought you to see Taruna?
So the main reason I went to see Taruna was I had two back surgeries last year. And I was doing normal physical therapy in the fall with sort of a traditional physical therapist, and I didn't feel like I was making much progress. It was really hard for me to get some of those low back muscles to start working again. And previously in my back injury journey, I had worked with McKenzie physical therapist, and I really liked it. And I decided to try to find one again, and I saw a few, and I wasn't that interested. And then I met with Taruna, and I really liked what Taruna did, and
Yeah.
it was a good fit.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. So exactly where were your symptoms? Give us a little bit more, elaborate on the
Sure.
two surgeries, what you were dealing with before the surgery, Simon, and then what failed to give you enough relief that took care of and satisfied you that made you need to see Taruna.
So that both the surgeries were lumbar decompression surgeries. I have had degenerative disc disease in my lower back for a long time. 4.5 and 5.1 are pretty worn out, and I have really bad nerve pain on my right side, and it was getting really, really bad before the surgeries. I couldn't, really hold a job or sit for a long time. I was really sort of barely keeping it going. And then, I had a few doctors here. They suggested a couple of surgeries. I met with this guy, he's pretty fancy. The surgery was fancy. I ended up needing two of them, and it helped. And The main issues were lumbar. I had some pretty bad stenosis at 5.1 on both left and the right side. And the first surgery, we went in to just address that. They didn't think it was worth doing 4.5. And they went in, it was good. I had some pain relief early on, but months down the road, I was still struggling a lot with symptoms. And I got another MRI, and it turned out that the surgeon hadn't actually gotten everything, and I was still pretty compressed on the right side. And then I got the second surgery in last July. It helped even more. I felt like a lot of my symptoms were dissipating a little bit, and it was sort of like, okay, you got to get the muscles to work again. And the main symptoms have always been mostly right-sided, really bad sciatic pain on my right leg. After the surgeries, it stopped going down my leg, and it was really focused around my right hip and my SI joint. And then, through the years, I've had my right leg is sort of weaker than my left leg. I have some issues with my ankles and knees, the overuse thing. And then, I have a lot of stiffness in my lumbar spine, and those discs are still sort of worn out. So I think that's a good overview of my symptoms.
Yeah, yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah,
said leg pain, yeah, when you said sciatica leg pain, can you describe, was it the back of the leg? Was it below the knee? Was it into the foot? Where were the symptoms?
It was like top of my right butt, and then it would sort of skip my thigh. I would feel it top of my calf, and then I would feel it in my ankle. So it wasn't like a clear path. It skipped some junction.
Yes. Okay, so here and there down the leg.
Yep.
Got it. And there was also back pain involved.
Yeah, a lot of back pain, a lot of stiffness, a lot of nerve pain are at that stenotic site at 5.1. Yeah, there was a lot there.
Your left leg was fine?
I think my left leg was also stiff too, but I didn't have nerve pain down my leg. I didn't have the same weakness problems. But my low back on my left side was also not very good.
Okay. So in what way did the first surgery help? And in what way were you still dealing with symptoms such that you needed the second surgery?
I think the first surgery took pressure off. Like there was just a lot of pressure in my low back. Yeah, I think I lost a lot of my down the leg symptoms from the first surgery. But that nerve was still pretty, it was still pretty compressed. And so I think I could work out a little bit more. I could sit a little bit more, but it wasn't a huge difference. And if I pushed it, maybe an hour, 30 minutes too much, I was sort of back where I was a little bit before the first surgery. So, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So symptoms were reduced, but when you tried to allow yourself to function
Yeah.
normally with working out, prolonged sitting, that would make the symptoms return or worsen.
Yeah, no, it didn't. It felt like I'd, made some improvements, but nothing crazy. And that, that was
Yeah.
obviously not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, I understand.
Hear the entire episode for free on iTunes, Spotify, other favorite podcast players, or go to mechanicalcareforum.com.